These guys don't know what they're talking about, but we are now live.
It's a little misaligned.
No, it's not misaligned. Sid, shut up. Anyway, we are live and we are talking to everybody.
Obvious.
It's not very obvious at all. Could anybody in chat see that our loading was misaligned?
This is the first thing I saw.
It's been like that for the last forever. So I don't know how you saw it just now. But hey, surprise. Somehow Reddit is working out fine. I will send you guys the link and you can check it out. But so far, so good. Thank you, Reddit. We have finally made you proud. And everything else should be good as well. Okay, we can start. This is going to be a pretty weird episode, isn't it? Because I haven't finished much. Hadi hasn't finished much, and Sid hasn't finished much. So,
as usual,
so let's get started.
Yay!
What's up, boys? Bro, do you have to do production? Do I have to ask Audi the daily question of
you're
the day?
going to ask that either way, so you might as well just finish it off, like, you know.
How was your day?
My day was beautiful. Thanks. How was your day, Sid?
Hey, dude, last time it was great and now it was beautiful. All these days are getting better as time passes. Huh?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, as you can see, comes with his usual positivity in the podcast.
Because
Rainbow
is that ever a time I'm not positive?
Yes, that's true.
Well,
but yeah, anyways, how is it? How is everything going, boys? How is it going? Brew, last night, did you catch the Pixel live stream?
I did not. I caught only the last bit of it because somebody didn't tell me. Somebody.
I told you.
Okay.
Somebody told me when the damn thing had ended.
Yeah, because I was like, oh shit, is Brew watching this? I'm like, hey, can you tell Brew and ask Brew if he's watching
So because somebody took a while for that shit, I couldn't watch it, yes. I only got the ending where they were like, and that is live translate, and that's it. That's it for this live stream. I was like, oh great. I saw literally one feature of the whole thing. But I
saw the Marie Kondo interview part, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was towards the end. But they said there were already leaks, so people already knew everything about the phone.
Yeah, but I haven't been keeping up with Pixel leaks. Also, the Pixel is not launching in India for anybody who might be from India. Apparently, they're not going to launch the Pixel here.
I told my brother about it. He may buy it, actually.
Yeah, but your brother's not in India, so...
Yeah. I'm just saying. He's like, oh, I can afford that, apparently, is what he said. So he may buy it. The normal one, not the Pro.
Even the normal one is pretty fucking expensive, I must say.
Yeah, dude, it is expensive, right? That's what I thought. But this thing, my brother's like, yeah, it's not that expensive. I can afford it. And even like this thing, after that, I saw the Marcus video, Marcus Brownlee, and he was like, it's a good price. It's not that expensive. I'm like, damn, these boys are rich.
Yep, everybody's real
like
rich.
a daily occurrence. They've been conditioned to spend that much money. So like, yes, it is not as pricey as it was last time.
Yes.
Well, the last time was actually cheaper, if I believe, if I'm right. I'm not sure.
Well, it's not like the Nexus is, I guess.
Yeah, then nothing is like the Nexus. Anyone who was there in the good old days of Android will remember the Nexus phones. But anyway, you must be wondering, why is nothing about anime here? Oh, wait, I just realized okay, sorry guys, you guys just do one thing. I'm just going to change something real quick because I realized I made a mistake with Sid can't see.
You wanted to transition, which failed.
No, I didn't want to transition at all. I actually wanted to... I fucked up more. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so basically I made a mistake on the stream which Sid can't see right now, and I just want to fix it before Sid sees it. So you guys can start the chat.
Did you? Okay.
Big if true intro.
Yes, big if true intro.
Play. Are you gonna play it?
No.
Why? What happened to the intros?
Because I can't play it on the vertical one. It's not coming out. I had to remove all of it. So I can play it.
Can't you just play it on the...
Yeah, it's a good transition and it's with the song and stuff. It's nice also.
At least do what?
You should at
Just play
least
it on
have
the
played it for
landscape
these
one, no?
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Played on Twitch
YouTube
and
can
YouTube.
see our big if through animation, I guess.
Or you should have switched to the image layout and played. But yeah, we'll talk about that for next episode.
No, it's not about what I can play and what I can't. You see, it's about how my laptop is dying as I try to play it.
Damn, your laptop is dying.
Yeah.
That's a new thing.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not
Kind
new
of didn't
actually. It's
expect
been
that.
happening the last couple of.
What happened?
Strange.
Did your laptop betray you?
No, so it turns out putting in 10 different scenes with cameras and photos on OBS is not a great idea. Don't try that at home, kids. It is pretty far.
We can go back to the one thing that we have, right? If this is not working.
So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different scenes in OBS right now for this podcast. And wait, we got to Twitch this thing. Sorry, a lot of memes 465 has followed us on Twitter. On Twitch. Sorry, I don't know why I said Twitter.
He sent us a link as well. Do we click that link?
No, or do you?
I'm not
click it?
clicking that link
It's
at
a
all.
YouTube link, sure, why not?
It's
What
a
is the
YouTube
worst
link,
that could
yeah.
happen?
Rickroll,
Recast.
I
Oh
guess,
wow,
I
yeah,
don't
it's a
know.
Rickroll. Oh,
I knew it. Holy
okay.
shit.
Lot of memes kind of gave it away with your name. We knew it was coming, so sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe if you had a more innocent sounding name, we would have actually been fooled by the Rickroll.
Well, Sid would have anyways.
But yeah, they're like above 12 different scenes here, and that's really harsh on any laptop apparently. So I do my best.
Have you been switching? Like last episode, you didn't switch much, right?
Yeah, because it
What did
keeps
you-
lagging, so I can't switch. So I switch where I can. But
okay.
anyway, enough of our technical issues. Here we have the
Yes.
first bit of news we wanted to talk today, which
Yes.
charming
bit of
warning
news.
7828 says hi Hindi. Not sure what hi Hindi means, but
Hi,
you do you.
Hi
Yes,
Hindi
hi
sounds
Hindi
like
to
a-
you
you
too.
too.
Yes.
But yeah, do you guys have the document open?
Yes.
So
Yes.
the Keiichi Arawi gonna resume the Nichijou manga on 26th of October, which is in a few days, I'm guessing,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
Sid, sorry, 1 second. Bro, why is my Reddit footage always going off, but Twitch and YouTube seem relatively okay?
I have no idea, but I shall try refreshing it on my side and see that. No, it's all fine on my side, so I don't know what happened.
I'm
Reddit
continuously
hates
switching
you,
in and
Audi.
out just
Reddit
to
hates
see.
you.
Seems so. Not
But
the
yes.
first time, but yes.
What do you guys think about this?
Well,
I'm glad that it's actually resuming.
Yeah.
Yep, it was a bit sad to know that it got stopped randomly. Oh, well, did it get stopped because of the pandemic?
huh?
No, it
Or what
ended,
do-
right? The manga is
Yeah.
pretty old.
Was it ended?
Like it's much older than the pandemic.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I thought it was like a very recent thing.
Didn't we see it? Yeah, we saw it in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it midway, but yeah, I thought it was this thing. I thought it stopped because of the pandemic, and I kind of like
No,
the.
It's from 2011 audience. So
Yeah, I know. But this thing, it's nice that it's resuming now. Hopefully, they.
But this doesn't say it's resuming, though. It just says that they're going to put out one chapter, as far as I can see, at least. Like the title
article-
says, it
Yeah.
resumes, but then
No,
later.
he says here that Arawi additionally stated on Twitter that he wanted to draw the manga again, so he's resuming the series.
Yeah, but then later it just talks about how he's going to put out a. Okay, never mind. Okay,
One
so
chapter.
yeah, basically he's going to resume the series. Cool. Well,
yeah, and this is after he ended it in 2015. Like it ended after 10 volumes in 2015. So he's just gonna get like a chapter or like another volume. Like, what do you guys think?
I want
Hopefully a
5
volume.
chapters.
Exactly
Hopefully a
5.
volume.
Yes, exactly 5. I don't even know how much one volume of Nichijou is, to be honest. I haven't opened my Nichijou manga books and checked in a while. But Nichijou,
Each episode of Nichijou is like 1 volume at least.
Nichijou really fun. If you guys haven't watched it, you should watch it. Nichijou really,
Yes,
really
you
fun.
should watch it.
And
Yes,
we usually don't like lolly type anime, but it's not lolly. It's just like it's kids, but it's all innocent
lolly,
fun.
they're
There's
just
no
kids.
weird
Yeah.
sexualization going on anywhere, so that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, Nichijou is amazing. So that's good news. So Nichijou fans rejoice.
Nichijou fans
And those who
rejoice,
haven't
including
seen-
us.
please check it out. Those
Yes,
who haven't
we've
seen.
also seen. Okay, wait. Random Otaku says click the link. I don't know if he's the one who's sending the link. He's the one who's sending the
No,
link.
Twitch also a lot of memes just said click it in a very intense manner, and don't worry, we did click it.
Yeah, we did click
But
it, so it's fine.
We
But yeah,
got
anyway.
rickrolled. Yay.
Yeah, and it's a classic comedy, maybe one of the funniest anime that I've seen.
Yep, it
Now
was
that I
pretty
think about
fun.
it. Yeah.
Very,
Good
very
timing,
fun.
good art style.
Amazing bits.
Overall,
We talked about it.
yes.
Check out all the links.
Check out our Nichito episode, yes.
And our Minute 101.
And then
stuff,
we
but
have this, and my door has been
So-
left wide open. Sorry, just 1 second. I'll come right back.
Audi, did you get
Yes.
a chance to see it?
I didn't actually. I remember now that I was supposed
You
to watch
had
the
one
trailer.
job, Audi. You had one job.
I
Audi,
can
come
watch
on.
it.
Now,
Yeah, why not?
what's the point of watching it now?
Hey, actually, we didn't we see this? Oh, it's
No,
a
this is
teaser to
new.
the whole
This came
show,
out
right?
yesterday, Audi. You had to watch 3 minutes or something before the podcast. Why are you watching it now?
Well, we saw the
Yeah,
trailer.
Adi,
and
my
we had
god,
our
I totally
opinions
watched
of
it.
Yes, yes.
So did you guys see it?
No.
No.
Oh my god. Can't even ask you what you guys think, huh?
Yeah, you can ask us. You can see the whole episode is just going to be us not remembering anything and talking with common ground anyway. So you can just tell us what happens in the trailer.
Yeah, so it's basically a few scenes from the film. Like they've made an edit of like around 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, which is like few scenes from the whole TV show, like random fight scenes and dialogue scenes and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And it looks kind of strange to me. I would say I wouldn't say bad yet or good because I haven't checked out the show, but it was kind of strange, because it seemed live action, but the dialogue and the action and the sound effects were giving it like a very anime feel, like it was live action with that exaggerated anime like expression and style and action. You know what I'm talking about?
I am so confused.
There's one part where they sort of show like these weird transitions between frames, and the characters, the three characters, sort of interact with the fourth wall, and they sort of push the panel border, if you will.
Yeah, they
between
keep
each
pushing
other.
the panel border, and changing.
Yeah, they just keep pushing it and keep changing the scene along with it. And
Yes.
there's like one part where they even show Vicious in like facing off the thing Spike, and that gives it that very anime vibe. I understand what you mean by that.
Like the way they talk, the sound effects, the timing and all, it seems very anime like. And before that, Control 9K was talking about Nichijou. I think he said, as the name suggests, it's a slice of life. Watch it before brew comes.
You watch it before Blue comes. What is that supposed to mean? I don't
He's
even get
making
it.
a slice of life joke, I guess.
But I don't get the joke. What is the joke?
Well, I'm guessing it's
So
something.
so
nice
neither
and
of you
happy and
understood
will come
the
and
joke, and you
destroy it.
guys were just laughing.
No, I told you what I thought it meant.
Oh, I see. My
Yes.
God. Audi didn't understand the joke and he just laughed. He's like, haha, he's saying something about Drew, let's laugh.
Works
Well,
either
that's
way.
what Ori does.
Yeah.
And Ori's
The
video
stunts
is
look
fucked
very-
again,
Yes, that is true.
as usual.
But the weird thing is, it's not in the vertical screen now. So Audi is just switching up and down.
How come?
I do not know.
Is it a source problem?
I
Or
do
is
not
it-
know.
What, do I restart it? Man. Okay.
Just
Oh, he
keep
was
it as it
telling
is.
Okay, he was telling Audi to watch the trailer before Brew comes. I see. Well,
Nice.
I made
Oh,
a joke out of it in my head.
I see.
guess.
Sid just wanted to insult me in general.
No,
I
I
see.
didn't actually thought it was a joke.
Also, I do not know why you're facing lag. It all seems fine from here.
Yes.
I will give it a quick check while you guys talk about Cowboy Bebop.
But yeah, so, and I also saw like the one with the Japanese dub, I guess. Japanese dub wasn't bad actually, like the English dub, because I originally saw it in like Japanese, the anime. The Japanese dub for some reason felt more natural to me with that anime style, that
Well, yeah, because you
exaggerated
already
acting and
saw it
action they
once.
were trying to do. Even though like the lips didn't match and that was kind of strange, but somehow it felt more natural. The English one felt kind of strange to me.
So that means they did a good job of replicating the atmosphere. That means at least
Yeah.
it doesn't feel unnatural. You can actually watch it.
But
Hopefully.
it doesn't have that like, that like that seriousness and sadness and like that like Cowboy Bebop has. I didn't feel that
You're
from
talking
this. It
as,
felt like a very
talking as if you watched some video called The
happy,
Tragedy of Cowboy Bebop or something. My God.
trailer.
Check it out, guys. We put it up.
So yeah, I didn't get that seriousness, and that I got like a very like happy, jumpy like kind of feeling from this show.
Well, it is just like bits and pieces from the movie itself. So who knows? Like
Yeah.
once we watch the whole movie, maybe we'll get a better idea of what the mood is all about. Yeah, they just
Like,
wanted to sort of
yay,
bring
Faye
up
is
more
dying,
hype about
yay, Jet
Cowboy
is
Bebop.
dying, yay, everybody dying.
And Ayn isn't there.
Yeah.
Not Ayn is there. The Ed
No,
isn't there.
Ed isn't there. Yeah.
Who wants
just by
Ed
the-
anyway?
I don't know. Like they didn't want to reveal him, her, who, whatever
It.
in this.
Ed is an it.
Yeah.
Just say Ed, Audi. You
They
don't
didn't want to
have to
reveal
pronounce
Ed.
that. Yes, that's a smart way to do it. But yeah. Anyways, any thoughts, guys?
I am
Looks
not.
cool.
I don't
Would
know.
check out.
Yeah, I think we're all going to check it out at some point.
Yeah. You all saw the opening a while ago, right? Remember?
Yes.
I think I showed you all. They recreated the opening.
I didn't
What do you
watch
think
the
of
whole
that?
thing. I just stopped it halfway through.
Why?
I don't know. I was like,
That's bro was like, apparently after seeing it.
yeah, it was like,
It looked
okay,
decent.
whatever.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
it
going to
was
be.
okay.
It's not going to be as good as the real thing, obviously. But then, they did a good job of making it look as good as possible with real life actors.
Who did a good job, bitch?
Thanks.
Okay, I think yeah.
Fuck. What happened?
No.
You're saying random shit. You're distracted. What's
Yeah, I'm
going
trying
on?
to fix the stream. This control and case there's a lot of lag. I was just
I'm like,
looking
what
through
the
that.
fuck is this guy doing? What did you think? You did it. What the fuck?
Yeah, but air was like my actual reaction. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah, but
I
you
mean,
can
okay,
say
so
more
there
than
is a lot of
eh.
attention to detail, and they have actually gone the full length of
Anime live
Keeping the
actions
same nature.
have a very bad history. Okay, so I'm not going to openly accept it despite how they market it right now.
Considering that, it still looks.
Yeah, you
decent, I
don't
would
know
say
how
that
it
much.
looks because they're releasing only the best parts of everything. For all
Yeah,
you know, it's going to be like
Maybe,
this
yeah,
shit.
but that's all we have right now to go off of. So you might as well just go off of it. We are supposed to talk about shit here.
But I
So
give
we
it a
have-
chance.
We don't.
Yeah,
we
I
can
give it a
talk
chance.
about it
It
and
looks
say
decent.
it might be bad.
I mean, if they're willing to go this far for like so many scenes and so many shots and whatnot, I'm pretty sure the quality has to be there in other shots. as well.
Yes,
It's not like
5
that-
shots and scenes versus the entire series. That's a great way to go off it. Yes.
Okay, then let's not watch the movie. Is that what you're
And
saying?
maybe
Hey,
I
I
don't
didn't
know. See, since Ed is not there, maybe they're covering the episode still before Ed comes. I don't know.
Perhaps.
But
But,
we did see that weird
Faye
penguin guy,
Valentine
right?
and Faye Valentine is not supposed to be a part of the Bebop, right? Like
Uh-huh.
she becomes a part of the Bebop with like before right before Ed becomes a
Oh,
part of
okay.
it, right? So
That way.
in the show, anyways.
It
Yeah.
just sounded like you were saying, yeah, Faye Valentine is not part of the Bebop. Let's do that woman.
Because we did see
Okay.
characters from old episodes in the opening. This thing, right? We saw the penguin guy. We saw.
Yeah, they did bring up a lot of those characters, but then this is like an
Vicious.
alternative timeline of sorts where Ed doesn't exist evidently. So who knows? Maybe they'll introduce Ed in some different manner, not the way we saw in like the desert and whatnot. But yeah, or
I
in
see.
Earth.
Yeah, what do you mean, Des? Hey, Audi is more
Wasn't it
distracted than I am, okay?
Are you
Am
still
I?
watching the trailer? But
Control
yeah.
9
No,
cases
that's
lag
just-
in comments and stuff. Video wise, it's normal disruptions, nothing new. Thanks.
I think we are just reading the comments a little late because after we finished talking, so I don't think there's a lag. But yes, Control 9K, the panel thing was cool in the video. And yeah, so that's it for Big If True, I guess.
That's
Yeah,
it
yeah.
for
Had to
Big
talk
If
about.
True.
Yes.
Do not wait for live actions and be excited for it is the lesson you should take from Weeb101. Always wait for the movie to come out and then be disappointed more.
Nice.
Like we did with Dragon Ball Z and
Oh my god, don't talk.
Death
Dragon Ball
Note.
Z was the last. Actually, I haven't seen any the Death Note live actions. I saw the FMA one, which was disappointing.
Why would
I
you
saw
go?
the
Why
Attack
would
on
you?
Titan
You
one,
didn't watch
which was
Death Note and you
disappointing.
went and watched FMA. Like what's wrong with you?
I That's what I want to watch. What the fuck?
That makes no
What's wrong with you?
sense. That's like Death Note, which is like mostly based in the human world. And then you have like Full Metal Alchemist, is like completely
Yeah, because
batshit
the
crazy.
trailer was cool. The CG looked really nice. That's why. I
What
saw it.
happened
And the
to you,
CG
mister?
was
I never
nice
watched
in the
trailers.
anime. The CG was nice in the anime.
It's just that the
and,
rest of it sucked.
Everything else sucked. Yeah,
I see.
only the CG was cool. Yes.
Makes sense. So don't get excited for live action kids. Wait until it comes
Yes.
out. Don't be Audi. You will get disappointed. Hey,
There
also,
were some good
Audi
live actions,
sure is
though.
excited for a person who keeps telling me to not have hope in life for things.
Ooh.
Hey, I didn't say
Audi.
not have hope in life. I say keep low expectations.
And
Your
yet
dumbass
here you are
decided to have
keeping high expectations.
for the international, not me.
I don't think Brew had high expectations for the.
I
Death
didn't
Note
at
live
all.
action.
I didn't
Yeah,
have.
I don't think
No.
he ever did.
Audi is like, you don't expect things out of companies. They just say COVID and that's it. And now Audi is like, it's gonna be great.
I didn't say it's going to be great. I'm not like totally hyped for it. I'm just saying it looks decent. I will give it a try. It
You
looks
literally
better
said
than what I
it
normally
looks really
expect.
good. It seems like they've given a lot of effort into the details.
Yes, they have given a lot
And
of
it's going
effort
to. They're
into it.
actually going to stick to what
You see,
the
unlike
new
you, I'm
anime
not going to
is.
stay away from it. Like, oh no, fucking live actions are all bad.
Hey,
Fuck,
he said he'll
I'm not
give
going
it
to
a
watch it.
chance.
I said, don't get excited for live actions. You clearly were excited for the live action.
I'm not excited. I'm just like it looks decent.
Isn't Audi excited? Look at it. Look at this.
For excitement. Like,
Look at the energy he's giving out right
more
now.
excited than both of us.
Yeah.
That is true.
Sure, why not? I guess. I don't know why you take it as some form of like approval. Like yes, Cowboy Bebop live action is the way to go, boys. Don't watch the
No, I'm
original.
not saying it's gonna be terrible.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be terrible.
It's not gonna be that bad.
But I'll watch it and find out. I don't know. And see, there are good. Like I really like the Ghost in the Shell live action, like the film. I
My
really
God,
like
what a
that.
beeb.
And I really like the Attila one also, the Robert Rodriguez one. That was amazing.
Why do I remember Attila so much? I remember
Yeah. You remember it, right? I think you've seen it. We talked about it also.
Yeah,
That was
it's-
pretty cool.
it was like the basis for some manga, if I for another manga, if I remember correctly. Hold on.
Gintama, Control 9K says Gintama and Goku Shufu, the live action were kind of okay if you watch it expecting anime's gimmicks. I haven't seen either of those live action.
Neither have I.
I've already seen the Goku Shufu, the anime, and he refuses
I
to call
have.
it anime.
Also,
But yeah.
Angle Strangle says, which one of you is Joe Rogan? Sid, probably, because he's the only Joe Rogan fan here. And
I'm not a Joe
Rulebor
Rogan
says, is
fan.
that Sulu? I don't know what Sulu is.
Oh, that is Sulu. Yeah, that's the actor for Sulu, anyways.
From
Sulu
Star
from
Trek.
Star Trek.
Yes. I forgot about it.
You guys watch Star Trek?
It's an
I've
old
watched it
fucking
in the
movie,
past,
dude.
yeah.
Like the oldest shit movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure
I've
we all
never
would have
seen
come
it.
I've seen
across it
many
sometime.
Star Treks.
I've never seen Star Trek.
Oh, I see. You like it more than Star Wars for sure.
Because
I think based on the
because
type
I'm
of stuff you
not
like.
not a fan of Star Wars as it is. I mean, that's a very
Because,
dangerous thing to say on
Star
live
Trek
because
is-
everyone's going to hate on it, but I'm not a fan of Star Wars.
John Cho, yeah. That's
Star
the name.
Trek is more like, I don't know, more realistic in a way
I
than
don't
Star
say I would
Wars.
say realistic.
Hey, then Star Wars, if you think about it, like how
Yes,
the world is formed and the
lightsabers.
future and stuff.
Lightsabers are like all fancy fiction, but space-time travel, warping into hyperdrive and whatnot.
There are theories.
I mean, that is also that is
There
also
are
a
theories.
fiction.
You can
Come
read
on.
books on teleportation right now, but how it's theoretically possible. You can't read books on how lightsabers are theoretically possible. So
But how
I'm
is
pretty sure
teleportation
lightsabers are easier to
theoretically
replicate
possible?
than
How are
lightsabers are easier to
lightsabers
replicate than teleportation of all things.
How are either of them viable right now in our world?
they're not viable in our world, but like there are like quantum physicists and stuff who have written about like teleportation and warping and stuff, right? Like how it's theoretically possible. We just don't have the technology right now. But no one's written about how lightsabers can be made, as far as I know.
As far as you know, exactly.
So
In the wise
it's
words of Audi.
more real than
I suppose.
Star Trek, I would
Yes.
say. Yes.
Sure. Either way, I'd Stargate for the win. Also, Rulebar says John Cho and Aman XYZ13 says Kumar. Who the hell is Kumar? I have no idea who Kumar is either.
Harold and Kumar.
That Kumar, I don't
Harold and
even
Kumar,
remember
the
that shit.
fucking-
Oh yeah, John Cho was in Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
He was Harold, right?
John Cho
Yeah.
was Harold. Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, I remember.
I do
I
not
remember
remember
those
that
movies.
either. But yes,
Harold and Kumar was a hilarious
I
series.
need to
love
rewatch that series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. It's a classic.
all I remember is they go to some place called White Castle,
Yes, they
and
do.
White
that's pretty
Castle
much
is
all I
like,
remember. And they're
it's like
high
a
as
burger
shit.
joint over there. Yeah.
Yes, they hire shit. It's a weed movie. But yes.
But yeah, anyway, that's it for the news, for anime news apparently. Next we have,
Minute 101.
what do we have for minute 101? Did you have a topic prepared?
We can do Ergo Proxy.
Okay, I genuinely don't think what I say will make any sense because I could not understand shit from that anime, okay? I understood like the base plot and then everything
okay.
else was just too giga brain for me
Did
to
we
get even a bit of it.
Did we switch the transition or are we starting to talk? I don't know. That's
don't want to see it. It lags like
Bruce,
crazy
a
when it
fucking
happens.
Bitch today, huh?
Hey,
Just hating on
it's
every
lagging.
fucking thing. Started by fucking hating.
Yeah.
But anyways,
And,
that's just brew.
yeah, Ergo Proxy. I had a photo of it and
So-
now I don't have the photo of it anymore. But yeah,
I did see it many years ago when I was in school.
and I'm pretty
I
sure you
really
don't
liked
remember
it.
shit about it.
I don't remember shit. I really liked it though. I remember really liking it when I was in school.
What
I was
did you
"Damn,
like
this is so
about
fucking
it?"
Cool. I don't know. but
When
I
you were
really
where?
like it. But
Did you say when I was in
started
school?
rewatching it. Yeah, I was in school.
So what? This is like more than 10 years ago?
I don't know the year, dude. I don't remember, but I remember I was in school when I saw it.
You
your
were out of
regular,
school
school-time
when
shows.
when we met Sid.
Shinchan,
So
Doraemon, Ergo
Yeah,
Proxy.
I know.
Apparently.
When I saw it, I didn't know it was like an anime or something. I don't know which channel I saw. Some movie. This thing I saw it. But
Maybe Animax. I don't know.
later I found out that this was like an anime that I saw. Apparently. But
it's
Yeah.
from 2006.
oh,
Damn.
yeah, I was definitely in school, but I didn't see it that early. I saw it much later, I think.
Oh,
Because
okay.
in 2006 I was in 6th grade. Yeah.
Okay, maybe you had some philosophy exploration in your mind at that time because they're all like, "Oh, are you really free in society?" and all that shit. But oh my
I saw
god,
the
it
first
went.
episode only. Yeah.
It,
Like the rewatch.
It-
But how
it
much
went-
did you see, bro?
I don't even know. I think I'm like I'm more than halfway through, but then
And
I'm like so freaking confused about what's going on. Some of it is like, I don't know, filmmaking art or something where random scenes are happening, random bullshit is happening, random shots are being used, and I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck am I watching?
is it like an all you need is skill type
No,
experience?
it's like a Space Odyssey ending where they're random things, except at least there it makes a little more sense. Here it's just like different. Like one episode was literally just murdering me because there are two characters. There's one girl and there's one guy, and they both there's a being that's
The
like
main
pretending to
girl.
be both of them. Okay, and there's a being. There's some random being that's tricking them into thinking that that it's the other person, and he just kept throwing one after the other to the point where I was like, I don't give a shit who's real anymore. Please end the freaking
My God.
episode. And then after they ended it, and the next episode was just about them being stuck in ice. So God damn it, what's
Stuck in
going?
ice.
And it's like she's writing a whole story about it. She's like, I am growing old. Yes, I no longer have food to sustain myself. And I'm like, what the fuck is why did you put an entire episode for this? It's so confusing. But overall, like the story is like, okay,
It's about like robots, like I know it's
Yeah,
about,
I know-
like,
I know
these,
exactly
why you
getting
suggested
infected
it,
with
Sid,
this
I know.
virus. They
Yeah.
get infected with this virus and they become like they gain like thoughts and stuff. They become more human.
No,
I would
they
say,
have
right?
their own thoughts.
They
Like
stop following rules basically.
kind of, yeah. They become delinquent robots essentially, and they sort of fall into a system of crime, so to speak. And they're like proxies. From what I've watched, anyways, there are like two proxies so far.
there are multiple
with-
proxies later on.
I see. There are like these two robots that are like
They're
so
not robots.
like Well, see, the way I see it, they're kind of like they look similar to the robots or androids that follow the humans around, or they move with similar
Like the
agility
one
as
that
well.
left the huge hand mark in like the first episode.
Yeah,
thing with
that
the mask.
one.
That doesn't look anything similar to the robots. The fuck?
Yeah, I don't think.
What were you high on when you watched that?
That doesn't look like anything like a human either, so I figured it would be more
I
closer
mean,
to
yeah,
a robot that
but
went
I didn't
rogue.
say it was a human. I just said it wasn't a robot. You know,
Okay, it's
there are
not a
things it could be other than just human or robot, right?
Okay, it's not a robot then.
My God.
But I don't even know where I was going with it. Fine. I lost my train of thought.
Damn, Audi became sad.
Bro, you fucked him up,
Yep.
bro. Why you do this?
Okay, I literally just brought up one point. What the fuck? But yeah, the proxies are basically
He's a-
supposed to be like
Bro,
life-giving
he's a
creatures or some shit.
hollow, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's a hollow, basically, yes.
Yes.
Hollow.
But you say, if you
But
know
yeah.
what I mean, as if it's like some ultra joke that nobody will
No,
get
because
except.
Audi won't get it. That's why.
Audi is like Bleach.
But Audi, did you understand what I said?
Well, I didn't understand right off the bat, but I do. I know that. Huh?
No, he just asked if you understood the hollow joke.
No, fine.
Bleach,
See?
hollow.
See?
I do remember the Bleach Hollow this thing, but I don't remember it too well. I
See,
associate
he
it
doesn't
more with
remember
Dark Souls,
Hollows
which
too
also
well.
has hollows in it.
Exactly. I don't know what the hollows in Dark Souls are.
Neither do I. But yeah, basically, they're taking way too long to reveal any of their mysteries that they've been building up all this while. Like the proxies are one mystery, and then you have an entire fucking town apparently, and then you have this shit dome city. What is it called? Romda, something like that.
The
And-
city, yeah.
There's so many different mysteries, and they're just taking so long to just get shit done. It's like
Isn't,
the world setting is fine, but it's going very slowly.
isn't
And
it just a few episodes though? Like it's not
23
really long,
episodes.
right? Okay.
25.
And they have filler episodes in between, and I don't understand why.
Oh, they have fillers.
This one was a filler. Like they're stuck in the middle of nowhere because there's no wind to move their ship, and this woman is just writing stuff in her diary, and she's like, "Yeah, this is what happened, and then blah blah blah." And that was like that infamous Avatar episode which nobody wants to watch
Yes.
anymore. It's like that.
This thing, like I know that usually over the years people have mixed reviews of it. Like some people like really like it, some people like totally dislike it. So
Well,
I've read that about Ergo.
I haven't
Proxy.
finished it, so I don't know if I totally dislike it, but it's not that great. Like honestly, I'm pretty sure what you loved was just the whole cyberpunk
Robots
aspect
and
of
shit.
it. Yeah,
My young brain like, ooh, that's cool.
yeah,
Like this.
that's pretty much
Loving
it.
cyberpunk stuff. Yeah, probably because see, as you know, I don't recall anything from that, and that's
God
why I
damn
wanted
it.
to give it another try.
Like
And
for all the
apparently,
anime you watch and manga you read, you just suggest stuff based on cyberpunk to us, huh?
this thing, the ending. This is Paranoid Android by Radiohead, right?
Oh, it is. I just skipped past the starting point, this thing, and the ending. This thing. I was like,
Yes,
nah,
okay. But yes,
not
it
a
is.
fan. But yes, for
Not a
those
fan.
who like Radiohead, yep, that's Paranoid Android for you.
Did you enjoy the art style, Sid, especially? Or bro, actually, since you watched halfway through,
And
It's
do you
cool.
find
it's
it?
whatever. I don't really think it's great. I don't really think it's bad. It's just like okay.
What about the animation?
The-
I felt like the animation was a bit wonky.
You know
in the
me,
few
I'm not
episodes I
going
did
to
watch.
say-
for the time. The animation
its
is
time, yeah,
actually
but-
and also if it was if you see it's like a mixture of 2D and 3D already.
Yeah, there were
lot
some
of the
3D
scenes.
elements in there. Yeah, I
Yes.
noticed.
A lot of 3D elements. So yeah, it was actually it's like anime quality, like like the standard industrial quality. Like it wasn't anything like whoa or like terrible. Which I'll talk about later on in this show, something that I saw. But it was like normal anime quality, especially for like the time it came out in. When was it, Brew? When did you say?
2006.
2006, yeah.
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
at least
I
it
didn't
didn't,
notice anything about the animation. You know me, I'm just like messed up with animation. I like the bad animation as well. I'm not like Sid with the eagle eyes. Like like this 1 second was 23 frames instead of 24.
yes, 23. and half frames apparently. I don't know how that works.
That
but
doesn't
yes,
work
the
at
half
all.
frame was
Also,
drawn.
Rulebor asks, have you guys seen Witch, Witch in? I don't know what that is though.
The movie, the horror movie Witch that scared the fuck out of me in the beginning that I didn't watch.
I do not know.
It's a cartoon?
No, there is a horror film called The
It's
Witch.
a TVC. No, it's a. Oh wait, it's a
Oh,
comic.
it's a cartoon. Yeah, it's a.
Oh,
The adventure follows 5 students who find their true calling as the guardians of the veil.
oh, I haven't
It's an
seen
American cartoon show.
No, I have not seen that. I don't think any of us have
Doesn't
seen
look
it.
like it.
that. No, I
Even
don't
by
think
me.
any of us have seen that.
But yeah, I mean, like Ergo, Proxy, Ergo. But yeah, it was. Although the story was a little bit predictable at some points. I'm not going to say totally like I'm some genius over here, but some points it was just
But
like.
you said it was confusing.
No, the thing is, the way they've shown everything is confusing, but the base story itself is easy to understand. The way they show it is just like a lot of fancy looking stuff. It's not really fancy, it's just fancy looking. You know, they change
Like the
camera
progression.
angles suddenly, and they show different non-traditional angles for certain scenes, or they focus on characters weirdly, and there's like cut scenes which like try to show urgency and all that. That stuff was like a little bit confusing.
One thing, yeah, tell me.
Yeah, but the base story itself was, I could follow it. It just was way too slow. And a few things were just like, yeah, I mean, you know, they're going to do that. Who hasn't done that in the last 20 years? But it makes sense that it's from 2006.
It's and this thing also, like rewatching it, I realized like the whole like visual, like it's kind of like dark, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
That's really
it's like that Game of Thrones episode. You know,
depressing
where it's
atmosphere,
really dark. Yeah, I think that was an interesting
The
choice.
Game
I
of
guess.
Thrones episode we don't talk about ever
Yes,
because
the
it was
Game
the
of
most.
Thrones episode.
Season we don't talk
Because we
about.
couldn't see shit.
No,
What
the
fuck is going on?
cinematographer for that episode said that it's normal light. You just can't see it properly on your TV because of your TV or your phone or computer or whatever. And that
See,
everyone was like, what
that's
the
a
fuck?
fucking lie, because when I watched it, my
Yeah.
room was there was no
Yeah,
light in my
same.
room.
Yeah.
And I was
Like,
like, holy shit, I can't see jack shit. Like, increase brightness just to see any characters or anything.
I just let it go. I was just like, I'm not gonna, like, I can't see shit. I'm not going to try. I'm just going to wait for this scene to get over, and then the episode got over right after.
Did it, like, you know, usually when they're shooting night scenes, they do like the American night thing, right? Where they shoot it in the morning, but they color correct it
Yeah.
to look like night. Did these guys shoot it like actually at night?
No, they were supposed to do the same thing, except they fucked it all up.
Okay, I see. But yeah, sorry, that's what they usually do when shooting night scenes, because you can control the light.
I figured you would have like a blue light or something, or like a really strong blue light that could sort of replicate a moonlight, this thing, no? Moonlight effect.
Can be all be done in post, right?
Yeah, it just shouldn't have sun shining right on people's faces.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a
overcast
little
is
hard.
perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, there were like some night scenes in Django that I noticed where they straight up, they don't even care about like moonlight anymore. They just straight up show a spotlight dead in the middle of a field, you know, like just to kind of show that the character is over there. So I figured they would probably kind of use colored lights to sort of replicate moonlight.
There are directors who use colored lights like Nicholas Winding Refn and stuff, but there's a very specific reasons and for telling like specific things in the story, you know, like a spotlight in a certain movie we talked about, like, you know, that's how lighting is usually used on.
Well, Audie's already calling us out on our bullshit.
But yes, anyway, this is not the drugs. Let's continue. I won't go into this
My
about
God.
directors and how they use lighting.
Okay, and then we have Sid, you're doing a hot potato. Wait,
Do you-
here's the hot.
Should we do hot potato now or like, okay, we'll do it now.
Wait, we have our opinion. Blue Period, I haven't seen anything about it or read it. So, Audie, have you?
I have actually. I did
Okay,
read
now then you guys can talk
Yes.
about that.
3
I will
chapters.
try to ask insightful
have-
questions.
I don't have
Yes.
as much of an opinion as Sid would, but Sid is
literally
like
my
ready to
life.
speak for
It's
like
literally my
10
fucking life.
hours about this now. Yeah.
Hmm.
But basically, we start off. I forgot the main character's name. Sid, do you remember?
I'm pretty sure
main
Sid forgot the main character's name.
Yes. I don't know main character names. Yes, I'm very bad with that.
The names are actually confusing for this manga,
It was
surprisingly, because
something with Y. Yeah.
Yatoro or no, wait, that's not
Yatora. Yatora Yaguchi.
Yatora. Yes, Yatora. Yes.
But this thing I want to say, it was written and illustrated by Tsubasa Yamaguchi, bro. And if you look for pictures of her, she hasn't shown her face. She always shows herself with this certain mask, which you're very familiar with.
Which one is that?
It's a mask that you own and you've worn on the podcast many times.
One on the
Do you know the one I'm
podcast.
talking about? Yes.
I'm so confused right now.
The Gero mask, the frog mask.
Oh, she always wears.
Yeah, she always wears that in public. She never shows
Man,
her face.
I don't know why I felt like I was supposed to know that, but I didn't know that for jack shit.
It's
I
exactly
thought
the
of
one
it, but I was
we
like, no,
have.
that nobody would do that.
Hmm.
Holy shit, it is exactly that one.
Yeah, it's exactly that one. Yeah, and so this is basically about what was his name? Yatoro. What did you say?
Yataro.
Yatora.
Yeah. Oh,
Yatora. Yeah. So he's a delinquent, I guess, as they call him.
Yes,
I think he's below 20, but he he smokes, drinks, apparently he has piercings, which is supposed to be a thing that delinquents have. And
does he? Because I didn't see any
they
piercings
call
at
it
all.
out in the anime. Yeah, he
I can
has,
see piercings in
he
his
has
photo
two.
right here.
Yes. And basically he's like this guy who like goes out drinking with his friends, fucks around, like he's not but he's really smart and gets good grades.
He's a genius.
You know, unlike his friends, but his friends are like, yo, what's wrong with you? Off, like they're like just fucking around.
Why is Sid humble bragging right now? Because he started this by saying it's my life.
No, I haven't gotten to that
No,
part.
you get into it yet.
Yes. So, and he like likes watching sports, like, you know, he watches football, he loves it, and then suddenly he comes across this painting, I guess, and he comes across and like by mistake he gets into the art class and he comes across this painting which is really beautiful. And a lot of situations happen. He tries to describe how he feels about stuff in different ways, but he can't express it and his friends can't understand it. Then he's like, yo, what if I try drawing? Because he always believed like, yeah, you can never make money with art. It's like a bullshit thing. Like, what's the point of learning it, paying so much money? Like, you know, he thought it's like absolute bullshit. Like, there's no point in going into that course, which a lot of people in our country do think. And he gives it a try in spite of like his friends, like, you know, and like in the beginning also his parents, you know, being like, yo, what will you do? And even he had that thought, but like he met the art teacher and she's like, you can actually do it. There is, you know, if you like it, you should just try it and work hard and all that stuff. But it shows basically he gets into art school, he gets into like training in order to go to like the Tokyo University of Arts, which is like really difficult to get into.
Okay.
And it's his journey from being like zero in art to like training and learning and becoming better in that whole process in like traditional art, drawing, painting and stuff, to get admission into this like one of the biggest art universities in Tokyo. Yeah. And like the whole process was very relatable because since I was a kid, I've been to many art classes, drawing classes and stuff, right?
Of course.
And a lot of like stuff that they talk about is stuff I could also relate to, the way he learns, the way they talk about like perspective and like composition and how it's blowing his mind, like, oh my god, yeah, that does look good, how and like still lives. I've done like tons of thousands of still lives in my in my classes, yes, in my day. And the way they approach still lives also, where they're like, do we really need to draw still lives to like become good artists? Like, because they were like, a lot of artists on Instagram don't draw still lives and they're still good artists. Like, isn't it an old, like outdated traditional method? And then she was like, it's true, but still lives are something that everyone can draw in their own way, because you're just looking at something and replicating it. And that's something I think my teacher also told me. Yes, I remember that.
Isn't that what
so
everyone starts with though? How do you start drawing without looking at something and replicating it?
No, there are like
who just
some people who can sort of just replicate imagery by just looking at it.
No, and looking at image is different and still life is like different, because if you're looking at something like IRL, like, you know, from a particular angle and trying to recreate it, you learn a lot of different techniques and understanding. Whereas there are some people like who don't even start with that. You can directly start drawing shapes and humans and like just like when you start, you're bad at it, and if you slowly keep drawing the same thing again and again, you eventually get better at it, right? Because drawing is like, basically you need to practice one thing again and again and again to get
It's kind
better
of
at
like
it.
depending on
You
the
do. Me, I'm a pro
area you're
drawer.
in.
Okay, please. Everybody knows that my
Yes.
art is amazing.
Bro
Sold
is
a
a
painting
prodigy.
for 1 mil yesterday.
Yes. And it talks a lot about like the art world and like paintings and how he retakes inspiration from painters. He talks about, in the beginning, he's like, I don't understand Picasso, like
Yeah.
what's the point, like I don't know why. He's like, this guy who doesn't understand art, and like what's the point, like it's just a painting, like why do I care? And then he goes to an art museum for the first time once he gets
How
into
does he
this
end
school,
up in
right?
the art museum in the first place?
So the thing is, once he gets into school and starts learning and gaining interest, right, and seeing results, he gets he's like, hey, have you ever checked out an art museum? You can get inspiration, you can learn from the masters and stuff, because you look at old paintings. And then he's like, no, never been to one. And he goes to one, and he's like, I never understood art museums, like what am I supposed to do here? Then like, I don't understand this, but like another guy was like, just look at it as if you would buy it and look at it every day and have it in your house and see what connects with you. And then he was like, okay, I'll look at it that way. And then he's like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Lots of things I don't like, but there are some things I really like that I would actually want and like want to make. But he's like, but the descriptions are like bullshit. Like none of that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then he talks about like how you interpret it your own way and how the descriptions also keep changing based on what like the curator or the person thinks. They just give a general view of like what it may be or it may interpret, but again, everyone sees paintings in a different way. Like you like and buy whatever's relatable to you and whatever you want to, right? Maybe it's good or bad. People like different stages of art, right?
Yeah, I
And
remember
different
going to
styles, like with anime.
I went to the Jahangir Art Gallery in Mumbai, and there was some guy who had drawn horses in many different ways, many different paintings of horses. And I walked out of there like, I have no idea why the fuck that guy got an art exhibition.
Yeah, see.
It's just like fucking horses everywhere. They're just horses. They're well drawn horses, sure. But
just horses.
Just horses. In different, multiple horses in one painting, multiple in the other,
the idea, right?
different colored horses.
You went there and you're like, it's just horses, and that's
Just
kind of what
horses.
most people will tell you that it's your perception of the painting. So,
but it's just
such as
horses. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
could,
okay.
I
You
could
can
literally,
just
I could
horses.
literally open up a new tab right now and be like fucking horses on Google and get the same thing.
See, I would try to
Interesting search
explain it
there.
to you why it's different, but I'm not going to, so it's okay. It's just horses for you.
What a
like
fucking
now,
hater.
like the first time you went
No, it's
there,
not a
you probably
hater.
just saw only horses. But then now, if you go with like some sort of intent about horses,
No,
I
I
don't know,
would
like
still say that the horse that you Google and the horse that he's painted are very different. But
Yeah.
that's up for argument.
very, very possible.
But and also and a lot of like the thing we were talking about, right? Like in the beginning when he's watching a soccer match before he has like his existential crisis of what he should do, he's like, damn, they won, but I don't feel happy. I want to feel like they're feeling after they won. Even I want to do something, I just don't want to watch
Basically.
other people win.
See.
which
gets-
hurts and it's very listing.
It's also the right age to kind of like, it makes sense because at that point even I also kind of got bored of just watching these sort of tournaments and where like seeing people win, or like like it is a grand celebration, yes, but then I never really understood the whole idea of it. Like, okay, they won and now the tournament's over, fucking hell, what do I do? I have nothing to do about it.
What's the next
And-
tournament?
I feel that whenever I watch any film or a good animation, I'm like, damn, it's so good. Even I want to do it. I just don't want to watch it. I want to animate. Like, I feel that when I see something. So it is very similar. Also, like, whenever he's looking at it, like, he looks at his painting, he's like, yeah, it's shit. Like, I'm drawing shit. Why is this teacher appreciating me? It's clearly shit cup better like other people. And that's something I felt throughout, like, art school. I'm like, yeah, I'm obviously drawing shit. Why is she complimenting me, And lots of things that he
art
felt
school,
were, like,
I'm pretty sure you're still
same thing
feeling
I
the
felt.
same way.
Oh yeah, of course. I always feel that. That's what even this thing Katsuya Terada also is like a great artist right now. Even he says the same thing. He still feels like he needs to improve, even though he's fucking pro as shit.
Something I just realized that for those of you who don't know, Sid teaches Japanese, and he's much nicer to his students when they make progress than he ever is to himself whenever
that's
he makes
true,
progress. And I just it just
I'm not
struck me
nice
like
to
that's
myself.
like what is the logic there? Like on one hand you realize that when you're teaching a student they are actually making progress and that's what they should be focused on, and you're like, you piece of shit, you don't know how to draw to yourself.
No, but like you kind of know
Bro.
yourself better than anyone else, so you kind of know your own flaws. And like,
bro,
What?
we all have mental problems, okay?
Oh my god. Well, that's
I can't be nice to myself ever. I'm always very hard on myself.
that's
I know
at least
a
the
problem.
best confirmation I've gotten this far in life. Cool, that works.
But I always treat myself like shit for like whatever. Yeah,
it is a
whenever I
weird
hate
way of
something,
sort of molding
self-doubt.
yourself. Yeah, like
Because
unless
you keep improving.
yeah. Like there are points in life where you have to be like, okay, yeah, you know what? As bad as it is, fuck it. Like we have to kind of get on with
No,
it
Sid
and
doesn't do
sort
that.
of go on to the next lesson. But then, yeah, for the most part, it's always just continuously pressing yourself and pushing yourself and just kind of pressuring yourself more and more and more to the
Yeah.
point where you're like,
But you can do
Okay, fuck, maybe
the
that was a bit too
pressuring
much.
part nicely. Like, okay, I gotta do this. Okay, I just have to finish this today. I will do this. But since like you piece of shit can't even finish this today, you fucking dumb shit. Like, what the fuck?
No,
That
I
is
do
true.
finish work. I do finish work.
No, I'm saying
But
you
I have to
psych
finish
yourself up like that. You're like, you start calling yourself a piece of shit right from the start instead of like slowly
No,
at
I
least
don't do
ramping
that,
it up.
actually. I don't call myself a piece of shit from the start.
I see.
Otherwise I wouldn't start it. So I do start a lot of things. The thing is, I am hard on myself, not as aggressively as you're saying, but I am really hard on myself. And like usually, even like of course with past work also, I'm like, yeah, I could have done that better at that point. But I understand I clearly couldn't have, because what I know now I didn't know back then. But yeah,
suck ass.
yes, I did suck ass, major
My
ass.
God.
But yeah, it keeps
He's-
going on. Like there'll never be there'll never be a stage where I'm happy with what I made. Because I think if I'm
I don't
happy,
think
then
most
I won't
artists are never
improve.
happy with what they
Yeah.
do, right? I think even like top tier artists right now that are just like pumping out art by the fucking
Yeah, yeah.
second.
But
they
again, there's a
still
difference
do, like,
between like what Sid does and what those artists do. They're like, okay, I
no,
could
like,
be
it's
better.
not a difference. It's more like a similarity in
No,
the way
it
that
is same.
they
Yeah,
do.
because all
They
of them
they
are
do
like,
their own versions of practice, and they do their own sort of like weird practices that allow them to hone their art in a certain manner or in like a certain area where they feel like it's lacking. But to us, it's like it looks perfect. Like they're like, some artists can be like, oh, hands are tough, but you know, if we see their art, then we're like, oh, their hands look just fine. But they're like, no,
Yeah, but
no,
they
this part
see
over
it.
here.
Yeah, but I'm saying they don't.
And
They're also
56
proud
parts of
of
the
work
hand where it's
they've
all
done in the
fucked.
past.
no, and a lot of artists are very hard on themselves. Like I've seen them speak, like these guys like Karl Kopinski and like I said, Katsuya Terada. They're like, yeah, I see so many mistakes, I see so many issues with something I do, but like there's a time like that I have to stop, otherwise I'll keep going forever. Which is what
Yeah,
I've also learned to do.
it becomes
tried
mentally
finishing work.
straining.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I have finished work now, because before I'm in college I used to never finish shit. But now I actually have stuff that I'm finishing, right?
Same with me.
So
I actually managed to finish off a few projects
yeah,
because
at
I was
some
like,
point
you know
have to
what?
be like, it's cool, I'll
I'm
let
just
it go.
I'm
Yeah.
just that bad. Fuck it. Let's just settle on that and
Yeah.
kind of move on to the next project.
This conversation is
exactly.
very sus. I don't trust it at all.
It's okay. But yeah, there's a lot of work and this I've done, which I'm okay, cool, I'll let it go.
And
not
that's the
gonna
thing,
get
right?
back
For
to it
for
and
most
make new
people who think
things.
that you know, like if you abandon the project, you're not going to ever explore that prospect ever again. That's not really true. Eventually, in time, you will come across that same like a similar challenge, and you will be more well equipped, if you will, to sort of tackle it. And you will definitely learn something new when you do come across a challenge again. And then and that's when you'll realize, like, yeah, you know, okay, that's how I could have done the older project, but you know, it's fine. Time well spent, I guess. You learned a lot of new things on the way as well, and now you can do other projects better. So eventually, that progress does come by.
No, eventually you do see progress. And also like, remember what we were talking about, the hand and the eye, like when you're drawing or something, like your eye levels up faster than your hand, right? So the eye can,
I always
like,
hated that.
your
Yeah.
eye sees better things than your hand does. So and that will always be the case. Your eye will always be leveling up better than your hand in terms of skill.
Yeah.
So because of that, you'll always find like mistakes and issues with your work, because you've seen better things than you're like doing, basically that kind of thing.
Like
And-
even now, like I just got done with my this thing character model, and then I realized like, oh, okay, I need details, but then what the fuck do I do for details? I need to draw and make like this thing, skin pores and all sorts of creases and all that shit. And then after that, what do I need to do? I need to do like face deformities and all that additional bullshit. But then that's the kind of slippery slope that you start to kind of don't realize you're falling into. And then after a point, you're just like, oh, I just need to keep doing more and more and more and more and more to the point where, like, fuck, I'm not gaining any progress with the project. So at some point, you should just kind of be like, okay, I've done enough. Time to move on to the next aspect of it and time to finish off the project as soon as possible.
Yeah, basically. Otherwise, you're like, you
just keep going on. Like I have like 7 stages I have to finish in a single project, and if I keep getting stuck at the first stage just because I need more detail, then it's never going to get completed.
And they say like the progression when you start working on something, like, oh, I'm so excited, this is nice, oh well, oh, there's a lot to do, oh my god, this is shit, oh this sucks, I want to stop. And when you end it, it comes back up and like, oh, like this was nice. Okay,
it comes back together. It feels like shit to kind of abandon it, but then later on, it sort of comes back together slowly, nicely, and it sort of feels nice.
Yeah,
but again,
exactly. But it's so those things are really cool. The way he draws, the different things he learns, and a lot of things he notices. Like even when I look at my past drawings, I notice things that at that time I thought it was nice, but I'm like, yeah, that mouth is totally like fucked. How did I think it was nice? Like that kind of stuff. And one important thing, like they talked about like prodigies, like art prodigies, which are quite common that we are this thing.
Uncommon, I think.
Quite uncommon. No, the feeling of like competing against a prodigy because there's no chance I'm getting in. And they also showed it from like the prodigy's perspective, because like the prodigy like has the basic skill of like drawing and like this thing, but the prodigy still didn't understand a lot of things like composition, a lot of techniques that you still need to learn, even though you have the basic skill for observing and replicating it on paper. Basically, you still like they did a composition test. I don't know if you read that, and like the prodigy's painting didn't stand out at all, and it was like because it nothing made sense. It was just like there. It was just flat. So the
whole idea of a prodigy was that they could understand all aspects of, or like most aspects of the
they are gifted,
art.
But they still need to keep working on it throughout their life to stay at that. Like you saw the same thing in Yola in April. Like he was a prodigy, but he still had to keep working on it, right? To hone his skill.
Slowly improve,
exactly.
Yes, that too. So prodigy is like they have that initial jump, but they to keep up they still need to work a lot.
There's also that line, right? Hard work beats genius when genius doesn't work hard.
Exactly. Yeah. So that you see that's very true. And also the chapter I'm reading right now where like they were talking about exams, like entrance exams, because like of course and like the guy was like, fuck, I hate entrance exams, like they're so shit, like and before like raffles, I think Brew knows this, I was trying for NID. Like you remember I went to Silica,
Yep.
And the NID like entrance exam, like it's it's the biggest like design institute like in India, right? Like like people are like, oh my god, NID, like that kind of stuff. And I did give the entrance exam when I and it was like it was one of the worst entrance exams ever. It wasn't a design related entrance exam for me because I was going to the design field. It was like they were asking me history, science, like general knowledge.
Science. I can understand history to some extent, but science.
And they were asking me about like artists, okay? And I knew nothing about artists at that point. But I learned about artists and art movements much later in life. Like I was very unprepared at that point. And especially Indian artists, like I knew nothing about. Like I was like, I have no clue who this. I have no clue what this guy made. I don't recognize any of this. And also they had some drawing exams that also went well, but there was like nothing related to design thinking and coming up with solutions and stuff, because that's what design is. But when I went into raffles, like the entrance exam there, like Brew is also very familiar with it, I've told him this before, was something that tests your problem solving skills, your design thinking skills. It tests those. Like instead of NID exam was like draw a guy sitting and looking at his like laptop on his table or something. Like that was the question. I had to just draw that like traditional.
It's not art at that point. It's not even just design, right? Yeah.
And here in raffles, they're like, okay, draw as many creative things as you can that have circles in them in like 10 minutes.
Oh, I remember that challenge.
Yeah.
Yes, I
So that
remember.
makes
You
you
also have
think
to
and
make
come
a
up with
triangle out of something. Like you have to cut
Yes.
something and make a triangle. No, sorry, what's it called? A pyramid out of it. I don't know why I said
A
triangle.
pyramid and a trapezium. There was a piece of paper and scissors and
Yeah.
glue, and I had to make a pyramid and a trapezium out of it. I had to figure out, the problem on my own. And I had to figure out the solution on my own, and there was a problem given. And there were situations like that actually help you to like think like in an abstract way and figure out the solution on your own, which this college helped me do. Like they're like, yeah, here's a problem, solve it how you want, and that trains you in designing. Whereas for NID, they were like, you do exactly this and give us this result, which is not something that you do when you're talking about design, I would say. And of
Design would
course,
be
I
more
did not
out
pass
of
that
the
exam
box,
because I didn't
yes.
know shit. So of course, I failed that exam. But yeah, I got into raffles.
Well, if you become a famous designer, you can be like, I failed NID. If I failed, even you can fail and get good in life.
I mean, you can fail in NID. And see, bro, as we know, most of the designers that we've seen in India, like from JJ, right? They all say they're from JJ.
Is
Lot
it
of people.
supposed to be a very prestigious school for
It's
art?
an art school, not a design school.
Okay. That makes sense.
Like the thing is, design and art are very different, right? Usually, a lot of people,
Many
at
people
least that I've
confuse the
spoken
two,
to,
yeah.
they think it's the same thing. Like design is like very technique based. It has rules that you have to follow. You can go crazy within the rules, but there are still a lot of rules. Like it's more like a science, right? It's more like because you're like using all these things to like solve this certain problem in whatever field that they have, whatever design. And art is a more like open form of expression. It can be anything. Like art doesn't need to solve a problem.
Like horses.
Like
Yeah,
horses,
exactly,
yeah.
like horses. Well, so a lot of
From a
people
design
like think
perspective, that
they're
makes
the
fuck
same
all
thing.
sense, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like for if an artist draws like just a yellow square, it can be like, yeah, that's beautiful. But if a designer is like, what the fuck is the point of that? So they're quite different. And a lot of people like tell me, oh, you're an artist, aren't you? I'm like, no, I'm not an artist. My drawing is shit. But this
Why
guy
do you
in the
hate
manga-
modern artists if you're okay with anybody calling anything art?
What?
How are you okay with like modern art if you're okay with anybody
aren't.
calling anything art? Why aren't you? Sorry, I mean.
Since the past. Yeah.
Oh, why aren't we? Because
No.
modern art is, at least this form of modern art,
It's
like
not
the-
that modern, that concept though. Like people have been calling anything art from the past, like from Dada and stuff.
era, yeah.
Like Dada used to mock it from before that they were doing it, right? And the thing is, like, art is like, see, it's the same thing as like character styles in animation, bro. Like there are some things you like, there are some things I like, right? There are some things you would watch and like possibly want, and there are some things I would watch and possibly want. Like even the shirts. Like there may be some shirts that you find that are really beautiful. Like, yeah, this is amazing, I'm gonna buy this. And some shirts that I like that you're like, no, I would never buy that. So it's the same thing.
No, but I'm saying
It's
why don't you accept modern art as art?
No, see,
No, I do
it's,
accept it. I never
it is
denied
art
modern
as far as
Only heard
as
you
far as
both
art-
shitting on it. I've never heard you both like any.
Shitting
It's just like
on
this
what?
isn't art. It's just
No,
a
like,
random shit
no,
on a
for
canvas.
me- For
No,
me,
it is
modern art,
for
it's
me-
not so much hating modern art
Yeah, it's
as
not
an
hating-
art piece, so much as it is an industry for selling those art pieces.
Huh?
The industry behind it makes zero fucking
See,
sense.
the industry, like in the past, so the thing, my argument against that was like, bro, like in the past, like art was like for the rich, right? These fancy art schools and stuff. Like it was for the rich, like the old romantic styles with the realism and stuff, right? And later on, like these impressionists and surrealists, they were like basically poor people who were making art. They were like, fuck you, like I'm not gonna go to a school, I can make good art from here. And like they were like a rebellion against like these art movements, right? Against this like this high class like concept of art, like anyone can make art, you don't need to be rich. And that changed society in a lot of ways and created a lot of difference, those art movements throughout the years. And now it seems like it's going back to that, if you know what I mean. Like it's going back to like these rich people buying like with NFTs and all that, like buying these really fancy, and it's becoming something that you have to pay a lot for and all now, right? And
Kinda, yeah.
with industrialization, we still have a lot of forms of art that are cheap and anyone can buy because of mass producing, but there's still like the high class, like fancy, like auction stuff, Like,
Yeah, but why is that a bad thing? If anything, it's like if some other person might get a
if I
chance to
had-
go from poor to riches because of artwork.
Yeah,
No,
there is-
like I
again,
don't. The only reason I hate modern art is
it's
because
not hate.
I wouldn't
more
say
like
I wouldn't even say it's
more
hate.
like a paradox.
It's
Because
like
again,
a dislike for me, a major dislike for me, because it's like, but there are good paintings out there, mind you. There are like some really extremely skilled painters out there that do some really incredible work, spend hours of their like days, probably like months go into like doing one good painting, and that shit sells for like what? At very best, like I would say like a $10,000, like, which is still a good price. But then, if you have to compare it to say like other modern art pieces, those sell for millions.
But
These
what's
guys
the
are straight up
problem there?
millionaires out
it's
of
not
just
about
painting.
the time you put into it.
Yeah.
It's about what you're trying to express. And see, bro, like even the point you were saying earlier, right, with Orisman, like it is kind of a paradox, because are these rich people, like, who are spending millions of dollars on this one painting, are they buying it because like they can relate to it, they see something, they like it, like the whole, like what we are talking about before, or do they just buy it because they have money and they're like, I bought something expensive?
I think that's what
what's their
NFTs
reason
are.
for
The
buying it,
NFTs
right?
are basically that.
Like, are they buying it because they actually like it, because they understand it, because they interpret it in some way, or they just buying it because it's fucking expensive? Like
So-
those apps at the app store, like your $999, your rich diamond app, you see that bullshit. Like, you just buy it because you can.
Yeah, but what's
Yeah,
wrong with like, if
it has to be that.
if
right?
there is no issue with if anything can be art, then what does it matter what the rich person buys? All that matters
Yeah,
is
it
what
doesn't
people put
matter.
out.
Yeah,
That's
it
why
matters what people put
I'm
out.
asking why you both, especially since you said that what your horse you can find online is like different from a horse which
It is.
someone paints. So if that's the case, then why do you both not like these modern art
I don't
pieces?
not like it. I like a lot of modern artists. I never
You
said
also
I
hate a lot of
dislike.
it. You have so.
No,
Of course
no,
you
You
have.
said you
never-
hated Jackson Pollock, Sid.
I don't hate Jackson Pollock. I just don't understand it. Like I didn't say he's
Yeah,
shit.
there was another
Abstract
guy.
art- there's
There were
lots of
quite a few
abstract
guys that you
artists that I
just
do
plain
like.
out said, I can't stand modern art. It sucks so much.
Dude,
They just
modern
put
art is
random
very
shit
old.
on them.
I've never said
You
I
just
don't
said they just
understand
put
modern art.
not understand. You said you don't like it. They just put shit on a canvas, is what you said.
No, I was saying I didn't say modern. I was talking about a lot of contemporary art right now,
Or
which I
contemporary.
didn't understand. Like there's a lot of art that I don't understand and I don't like it. And that's the thing about art, right? There'll be a lot of stuff I don't like. Like I went to the contemporary museum and there were just like there were 3 series of like blackboards with like mountains drawn in chalk. And for me, I was like, yeah, I don't care. They're just mountains in chalk for me. But a lot of people like them. A lot of people appreciate them and the artists, and that's okay. But I don't like it. That's all. You don't have to like all art. Like again, those horses were just horses for you. It's the same thing. That's my this one like contemporary because it just goes crazy.
There was a one
Yes.
artist who does like I forgot his name, but he one of his more memorable art pieces, if you will, was basically a table for like a house, a table that consists of medical supplies. With it's just like medical supplies on the table, and then a glass thing is put right on top of it, and then that's it. That's supposed to be modern art, if you will. It's like used medical supplies inside the table as well. Not even like neatly organized. So that's the side of modern art I sort of don't understand, fail to understand anyways, and kind of hate because it makes so much fucking money. Like what if you say it makes sense?
Modern art is much older than you're thinking. I think you're talking about like contemporary installation. Modern art it started.
Okay, today's
like in the
I don't know the
90s.
difference, the term for it, but then like today's modern art, if you're like people who spend a fuck ton of money for this
like,
kind of shit.
Van Gogh is considered modern art. That's why I'm telling you about how old it is.
This generation, like these years, like I wouldn't even go into NFTs. NFTs are like dumbasses, but then this one artist does like this table full of used medical supplies. What meaning are you
I don't
supposed to
know
get
about
out of that table? I don't understand.
See,
I
again,
forgot
we
his
don't
name.
Get it, but maybe someone does. Like that's the
I
thing.
forgot
and
his
that's why they're
fucking name,
getting
dude.
it.
I have to find it and tell it to you. But basically, it's like he does these random fucking artworks. I think very recently he even did an album cover for Drake or some artist, which is just one single emoji recolored in like 20 different styles. That's it. There's nothing really special to it. Just a saying. He didn't even make the art. He just took an emoji and just repainted it and recolored it and then posted it 20 times, and that was
That's pop art, right? That's what Andy Warhol did. That's what he popularized. He popularized doing
no,
stuff
like
that.
pop art still had some sort of
Andy
like
Warhol
color.
used
This
to
thing.
do that.
This wasn't even that. This was just an emoji, or probably the same emoji that was there recolored.
that
That
is
was already
pop art, Audi.
recolored.
Yes, that is pop art. That's what you use things that are popular and you turn them into art. That's what he did. That's what Andy Warhol did. He took pictures of like Marilyn Monroe and the Campbell soup, and he just said like, this is like Andy Warhol also like anything can be art here. Campbell soup here, this is art. Like that's what he did. Like that's what he's known for. Like, and the silk screen prints and stuff. He literally took photographs and stuff that excited me. He's like, here you go. This is my painting. Even Roy Lichtenstein, another pop artist, he used to take panels of comic books, just paint them the same thing and be like, here, art. Like that's what they used to do. Like that whole movement of popularizing, taking commercial culture and turning it into art. That's the same thing you're describing, right? So these are
no. See, I am saying this right now because we had this conversation before. I even mentioned the name to you, and you remember the name as well, and even you genuinely didn't understand why the guy made that much money.
But I know why they're doing it. That's what I'm saying. I don't have to like everything. Yeah, I didn't say I like it. Like there are like like I told you about Yaoi Kusuma, right? An artist that I really like. I went to see her exhibition also. Like she's basically obsessed with polka dots. Like she puts polka dots on like everything. If you know, like just dots of different colors. Now someone asked me like, yeah, what the fuck? She's just putting dots everywhere. She puts dots on her body. She puts dots on pumpkins. She's just putting fucking dots everywhere. But I think it's really cool and I actually like it. So it's the same thing. You may think it's bullshit, but someone else may like it. It's a very it can be anything.
Audi Soto your Mekatari basically.
Hirst. There you go, fucking Damien Hirst.
I've heard of that name, yes.
Damien Hirst. He's the guy behind the table full of medical supplies. Yeah, there you go. I was wondering.
Hirst.
We've talked about this guy before. He does the similar like polka dot things.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't even make his own art apparently. Sometimes he sort of commissions his art to people under him. So there's like a weird sort of like industry going on where he like it's not even his own art anymore.
Art.
Huh?
But it still is. And
I mean, it has his name over it. It is his label. Yeah.
There are artists nowadays who are like taking a canvas. Okay, they're putting paint on the canvas. They're putting a drill through it and spinning it. They're like, here, I made painting because paint spills in spirals, looks cool, sell it for money. Like, literally,
well, I mean, yeah, I guess if you like stuff like that and you feel like it's worth the money, sure, spend it.
Again, it depends.
From my perspective, like I never understood if I don't see the value in spending a fuck ton of money for something like that.
You don't have to. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't have to.
Probably because I know how to do it myself. I could just like go buy a canvas, go take a small can of paint or something, just go to a hardware store, like a drill de sakte ho kya 5 minute ke liye, put paint on it, go, and then be like,
that's the thing, painting. You haven't done it.
I haven't done it, obviously, but I'm just saying, from my perspective, it just seems a bit simple to do it.
But using Sid's logic over there, what you will make is still going to be different from what that person makes. So you can't make the same thing.
Possibly, yeah. It won't be the same pattern.
Effort in execution than the final product. Yeah, he's saying
for me, like the value.
No, he seems to not like the final product either.
Huh?
You don't seem to like the final product either.
No, see, like
I how similar
I find it decent. I don't hate it. I don't like it either. I don't hate it specifically because such simple art pieces do make a lot of money compared to this thing. And that's my value. That's the way I see the value for a painting. Anyways, like the amount of time put into it, because it takes a lot of time and skill to make make like good paintings out there. So to see those paintings kind of get devalued by relatively simpler paintings, if you will, seems a bit odd to me. And that's kind of my reason as to not liking modern art as such or contemporary art.
But again, Audi, like things are becoming easier. You know, like you don't have to that way. Do you hate your own profession because technology has made it much easier for you to create art and create things, right? Than you would do traditionally.
No, not really. But then
it has made it much easier.
It has made it, yeah.
Yeah. So because of that, do you think that making the process easier makes it not as good? Just because you think you need to put 10 hours
it's not a matter of the
result?
Process being easier. Like it's imagine like painting a human, realistic. Like a human portrait. There was a very famous painting that I say famous as if it's like a very, like everyone in the world would probably know it, but it was like it showed up on Reddit at one point where there was like a woman with a sweater, and that it was just that with a green background, a red sweater, and the guy did such a hyper realistic painting to the point where you could see like strands of hair sort of like frayed out. You could see like the fluff on her sweater sort of being frayed out as well. Every single detail has been like mapped out, like you could see every single bit of it, and that sort of created more of an appreciation for that artwork for me, because it's not only looking realistic, but he goes the extra mile to just do all those tiny little things, and I'm like, okay, that seems like it's worth the money.
The style that you like is realism.
Yeah, no, for
realism
me anyways,
like because like a lot of people may not like realism. They might like the icon, like for Nandemo, which is just like a round face with like a mustache. They're like, yeah, that's
you want to
like,
buy that icon, by the way, it's up for sale.
Yeah,
we'll take a couple of millions for it. Yeah,
eventually. I'm describing to Brew like as to why I don't like modern art as much.
Yeah, that's what. So you like realism, which is like really old, like like what the rich people like used to, like the romantic era, like super hyper realistic paintings and sculptures. That's the kind of style you like.
It's like because if you tried, like I tried drawing myself, like and but then like for me anyways, it's like it's mind blowing to see someone portray every single detail out there. Like to capture every tiny teensy bit that would miss even some of the best artists out there. But and this guy I managed to put it out. So that's why I felt like that's the kind of painting that should have more money being put on them.
And there are still artists who make stuff like that, like Roberto Ferri, the Italian artist. I think I showed you someone. He does like these super realistic, like hyper realistic like paintings, right? And
see, I'm not even going to lean in towards like hyper realism, like that is impressive in and of its own, right? But then something like Karl Kopinski or Kim Jung-gi, the two artists I constantly follow.
That's still like comic book style, like that's not realistic to any sense, or
I'd say at least Karl Kopinski is very realistic. He's been doing some. Isn't it?
I think your definition of realistic is distorted.
Okay, the big one on Reddit said that head looks smoother than a baby's bottom. Hope all is well, guys. No, he has cancer. You just said that to a person who has cancer. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't have cancer. He's just like that. Yes, very smooth head.
Yes, smooth head.
Or more a lack thereof of psoriasis.
What do you think, Odi? That's not realism. If you look at people like Roberto Ferri and stuff, even like the artist we were talking about that day, what's his name with F? I forgot his name.
Ferrero Rocher.
Ferrero Rocher, yes.
Frazetta is more realistic than Karl Kopinski, if you talk about realism there. But he still does fantasy stuff. But his style is realistic. So Karl Kopinski is not making like super realistic paintings. So
I lean in towards like if I had to see, like if I had to compare like Karl Kopinski's, but even so, like if I had to compare Karl Kopinski's art, or if I had to compare like a GIF or like a small like, I don't know, like 28 by 28 pixel piece of art art, if you will, I'd say that the Karl Kopinski one would be more money than the tiny 28 by 28 pixel one.
Karl Kopinski is still like realistic, like it's more realistic than a lot of comic books. But the pixel art, again, that's a different like genre, that's a different category and technique and everything. Like pixel art came with technology when they had pixels, like that was a different origin. So maybe you do prefer Karl Kopinski's art over pixel art. But
I do like both comics and realistic styles. So Karl Kopinski is like dead in the middle of both of those.
And I love pixel art. Like, I play pixel art games. Like I told you, I think it's really cool. And it's the same with like any genre of anything. Like even with music, you have your own preferences to what you like and don't like. And art is like the same thing. There might be some songs like some artists, like these mumble rappers, you bullshit because you don't agree with them. But a lot of people really like that genre and that style. So it's the same thing. It's just another form of art in the end.
By the way, I did not catch a single name you guys said in the last 10 minutes, just so you know.
That's okay. But yes, Bru, do you have any thoughts, anything you want to add?
No, I just wanted to hear your perspectives. I have no idea what to say because I don't even understand half the terms you use. I don't know what realistic art is except for what Audi described. So it's just a person, but real.
Think of it like a photo, but it's not a
Dude, look
photo.
at
It's a fucking
Robert,
painting.
But take a photo,
Sort of.
dumbass.
Oh my God. Well, that is kind of the basis, the portrait and whatnot. But yes,
God, these artists showing off their skills by drawing
Even
photos.
Even a photo is different from like the actual person. So even that's another form of, the photo is not the same thing as the person. A photo that you click. A photo of brew is not the same as like IRL brew.
Hmm.
So yeah, there is difference in that because a photographer can take it in any way, right? That's why photography is a thing because you can express the same person in different ways.
Yes.
Yes, using a lot of elements and composition and whatnot. But yeah, really cool. I'm following it. I'm loving that shit, and I'm gonna keep following it.
My God,
Yeah,
yes.
it looks really fun. I'm also like only 4 chapters down, I believe, 3.5.
Bro, are you gonna get into it?
I will after Ergo Proxy.
Okay. Yeah, so Bruce gonna finish Ergo Proxy. We'll let you know if you want to know what we're reading next. You can join our like Discord, and
Yep.
we'll let you know over there. Whoever's watching,
And
you can post the Discord link. Control 9 casing. I too don't know anyone they named. It's okay. We're just nerds, I guess.
and
We're
also
just huge
he
nerds.
said a haiku. Others discuss art. Drew keeps thinking silently. Hentai is best art. Yes, indeed.
Probably he does. Yeah.
Indeed, you are right.
There are some really good hentai artists, by the way, who like are better than most mangakas. I would say, like
God.
traditional mangaka. It's true, right?
Okay, we can get into our hot potato now, and I'm going to play that animation. Okay, we're back. Sid,
What do you want, Kim Jong-gi?
I'm
We didn't even.
I have
Yeah.
what?
Wait, I mentioned it.
Oh.
Okay. I just got to pee really, really badly, so I'll just come back in just a
Okay,
second.
yeah.
So just stop recording.
Yeah, go.
Yes, art
Did
real
we
good.
talk about Kim Jong-gi? I don't think
I didn't talk about him. I mentioned him, but then like
Okay.
if I
He's
had to
pretty
like give
fucking cool,
two names like right off the bat for like good art or from me good art anyways, it would be these two names.
I see.
Because every time I go on Instagram and I see one of their pieces of work and I'm like, chhod de, khatam, I close Instagram, I'm done.
Yeah, it sucks, right? Yeah, I hate
I
following
can't
artists on
fucking
Instagram,
handle that
dude.
shit. It's just and it's not even like this attention to detail for him. It's the speed at which they do it. Like Karl Kopinski does these like tiny videos every day where he does like I forgot the term for it, but it's like sped up videos basically of him drawing a single character and like from start to finish. Like he does like full rough sketch, then he sort of draws in the guiding strokes, then he draws in the proper strokes, he puts in like shadows, he uses like both hands and does fucking shadows like every tiny detail here and there, and then like 15 seconds later it's like it's done. Even if it's like sped up, I'm pretty sure it does it in like what 15 minutes or something very easily.
The thing about him is he's really good at like remembering and recalling stuff, because basically when you're drawing, like it's what you're observing, you're like basically remembering it, putting it in your head, and then you're putting that into a piece of paper. It's that process, right? From observing to remembering it in your head.
I wish I had that. That's so fucking mind-blowing. If you can just see like a bend and like, oh, that bend is over there, draw.
See, that's what the prodigies are good at. They're good at that observation, like that recreating, in their own way. And Kim Jong, he can recreate stuff he's like drawn like since he was a kid. Like just like I used to watch stuff like tanks and guns. I just like draw like a perfect tank right here. What's up?
And like, it even evolves to a point where they develop their own set method of drawing certain things. Like Kim Jong drawing a gun was like really mind-blowing to me, because like you never think of drawing a gun in perspective, but he manages
the fuck
to
are you talking about drawing guns? The fuck, what did I walk into over here?
Artist who teaches you how to draw like modern weapons or anything in perspective basically.
I see.
And he teaches like basically like unique objects in perspective, and guns were one of them.
I see.
He does a lot more than guns.
He does a lot more than guns, but yeah, for the one video I watched, it was just mind-blowing to see him do that.
Yes, what's up? Just say, start the hot potato.
Small hot potato.
Very small.
So the film, the animated film Samurai Soul. It's in the same universe as the Bright series, the one with Will Smith. I think we talked about it before, and it was out on Netflix the other day, and we were kind of looking forward to it, I guess, because of the plot and like they said it was in 3D and like 3D in Japan is improving, so I had high hopes. I didn't know they had a budget of $2 for the whole film.
My God. Sid, could you get a picture of it so they can put it up on screen? I don't know.
Yes.
I searched for it and I'm getting like everything from a little girl holding swords to an old man holding swords and to a robot apparently. I am so confused right now.
Image on this thing.
Guys, if you search Samurai Soul anime, you get a suggestion called Cute Anime Girl Samurai.
Nice.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But this picture will work, I guess.
I sent a picture. Does it work?
Do you know which? Have you watched it?
No, I just searched Bright Samurai Soul and.
Yeah, bro, I sent you something.
Oh wait, I already put up the photo you sent first, but yes, I shall add this photo again now. Yes, you can start discussing.
But yeah, so I was, looking forward to it and start watching it, and I stopped watching it because it was pretty badly produced, I would say. Like, I don't know how low the budget was, what Netflix is doing with these films nowadays, but it looked worse than like 90s 3D video game animation, basically. Like, there was no like AO, and like the lighting was like really bad.
It's those mistakes fucking.
It looked really flat, and like even like the characters, the simplistic modeling and whatever, it's okay, but the way they moved was like also like very choppy, and like the whole production seemed like it looked like a 3D student film, basically.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it looked like it looked like it was made like by a good studio, and they didn't put a lot. It seemed like very low effort, like animation and low effort production. I see, again, I'm not blaming the studio again. Maybe it's like they didn't have a bigger budget. They didn't have. I don't know what the issue was, right, with the production and why this was the output that they came to, but for me it wasn't an enjoyable experience at all, even though there were scenes of like traditional Japan and Edo and stuff that I like, right, samurais and all, but I still couldn't like connect it because everything seemed really flat. The characters, like the movements, there weren't any movements. The animations are like really choppy, and
so basically Record of Ragnarok.
Yeah, it was basically like Record of Ragnarok, but like 3D. Yeah. It's like bad 3D, the old school, like where Japan was like bad at 3D, like we weren't getting good 3D anime and production.
Kingdom first season.
It went back to that, like the 2016 Berserk, that awkward, like really animation movement. Yeah, it was just like that. I don't know.
Yeah, robotic, like, sort of like frozen models, if you will.
It seemed, I don't know. I have no clue, like, what happened here. Yeah, I was really confused. And like, I've never seen the Netflix Bright, the one, but I know if you have seen it. No? Yeah. So I have no clue this thing, and I don't even know who's behind it. Like, I couldn't find who's produced it.
So all you know is that it's Netflix and nothing else?
Yeah, all I know. Is it Netflix Animation that produced it? Then that makes sense, because they don't have a good, record of animating nicely, I guess. They don't have.
They also don't have a record of paying animation studios well, yes.
Yes, that is true. They also do not have that checkout. So.
My God.
But yeah, I don't know if it's the Netflix, because Netflix Animation has made pretty bad stuff in the past. The director
production company was Arect. ARECT.
Oh yeah, it was Arect. I think we talked about this.
I have heard that name before, Arect.
Yes, I cracked a joke saying more like erect, am I right?
Oh yeah, that was the one.
Yes.
Yeah, Arect is this 3D CG studio that worked on it. I don't know. They also say they're like a motion capture studio. I don't know if this was motion capture.
That doesn't look like motion capture.
but it
Motion capture translates.
clearly
At
wasn't.
least a motion capture studio translates the mocap data really well. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know what happened with this film. It wasn't an enjoyable experience for me to watch. I couldn't even finish it. Yeah,
Yeah, the art style does look
it just
nice
seems
from
like
the images
even
itself.
the storyboarding part seems lazy because the shots were like whatever. They were just like the camera was just there. It wasn't like telling a story, you know. And even the way things were composed within the camera, like there was this scene like where these samurais are fighting in the beginning, and usually like the camera is moving. You're trying to tell a certain story, why they're fighting, what they're doing, who they're fighting, what's the goal. The camera is just there, and they're just random characters running with their swords, like not even like placed properly. If you talk about like the any of like the rules of composition, was just like haphazard, I would say. Yeah, but I hope it, you know, I don't know why they did that. I don't know the reason.
Yeah,
but
there are like there's like I'm
like
watching the trailer itself.
even if you see the picture we have, look how awkward like the composition is. Like they're
Mhm.
at like the corners of the frame, and like the distance don't depth that well. Like you can't see depth of field because it just seems flat. Like it just seems like he's smaller than the other. So even
But I
from
think
this
in
you
that
can get a
image
good
itself,
understanding.
I think that image is just too close to actually tell if there should be any depth or not. But then
No,
there
but
is
you
an
can
actual.
still tell depth with lighting and stuff in this image.
Yeah.
Like you could still have done
That's
it
where
properly.
there's like a scene in the trailer itself where they show like a top-down view of a burning castle, so to speak. Everything looks flat in that.
Yeah.
Like there is no.
Well,
there is
if
no,
things are burning, it should be flat.
Oh my god.
like color-wise, I guess. But it's like as if the fire has just been placed right on top of it. There's no like burning, like there's no burning debris on the side. Ground has no color to it aside from like a flat color that was applied on it. The trees also look very bland, so to speak. So yeah, it does have that very odd student filmy sort of vibe.
So basically, along with live actions, don't ever get excited for Netflix releasing movies of any kind.
Yes.
Unless it's live. No, I mean, Netflix's live action. Is it called live action if it's just a movie? Yeah, okay. Netflix's movies and TV shows are fine, but don't watch Netflix's live actions and don't watch or watch it. Just don't get excited for it.
You don't get excited for it, yeah. And especially if you don't know the studio.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
a chance,
Netflix
like,
has shown that even with a good studio, they will fuck it up.
Yes.
So
I'm
there
not
is.
gonna blame Arek. Like again, even for like the Witcher film that I didn't like at all, and the Dota, this thing. I'm not gonna blame
Dragon's
Studio
Blood,
Mir
yeah.
because they have made beautiful stuff. Like Korra is really well animated, so I know Studio Mir can do it. So I'm not blaming the studio at all.
Studio also made the 3D model for Marcy, the newest Dota 2 hero.
This looks fucking amazing.
Yes. There were so many
There's
jokes about heroes having lesser polygon counts for their entire model than Marcy does for the blood on her face.
I agree. That makes a lot of sense. Yes.
There's a scene in this thing. There's like a war scene happening here with like 20 different parties. Some parties shooting each other. Some people shooting each other. Some people like throwing swords at each other. And
Throwing swords.
there is like a fire raging on in the background, if you will. And there's supposed to be like a distinct shadow, or there are supposed to be shadows of these people because, you know, they're facing against the camera is facing against the fire. There's basically no shadow in this. Like you said, there was no AO ambient occlusion in this, but there's quite literally nothing.
No, there are a few shadows on their faces and
Few
stuff.
shadows on their faces, not on the
But
ground,
backgrounds
however.
yeah, I know. Those don't have any shadow. That's what I was talking about.
I
how
can
they
see what you
did
mean by the whole
lighting.
depth
Like there
thing.
was no
Yeah,
lighting.
now that you mentioned it. Yeah.
It's quite important. But yeah,
Then-
that's it.
Yeah.
Audi
No
and
fog,
watching
no depth.
trailers live and discussing it. Name a more iconic duo.
I know, right?
Eventually, it'll become
That's
a
his
series.
thing.
Yeah, like
You're like, Audi, what's this trailer? And let us know what you think.
Well, see, eventually I would have to look at the trailer again just to see, like, this part I wanted to talk about is.
yes, it's just like the point we were making was that maybe it could be done before and not during a podcast.
Yes, I sent it to you like good 3 hours before, Audi.
Also, how come Audi didn't like the Witcher series? I thought Audi would love the Witcher
Did
series.
you watch the Witcher movie?
Oh, he hasn't watched it? Oh,
The
I thought,
animated movie? No. I hated
why
it.
haven't you
hasn't
watched
seen
it? I
it.
thought you loved the
You saw
Witcher.
it?
I hated the trailer. Like, this guy told me to watch the trailer and I saw the trailer itself and I was a
Why
bit.
did you hate the Witcher trailer? That just seems wrong. That just
The Witcher
seems
2 or
it
The
seems like
Witcher?
you're betraying who you are.
Yeah,
Witcher
it's
2?
about Vesemir. I told you. No, the Witcher
The Vesemir
animated
thing, right?
film.
Yeah, it looked odd to me in the trailer itself. I don't know if I want to watch it or not. It seemed very off-putting. Just like first impression, anyways, was just off-putting. So I don't know if I want to put myself through like 1.5 hours of
Hmm.
that
It's just 1.5 hours.
I saw the whole thing.
Is
Story wise, yeah, I was okay.
Story-wise,
but-
obviously, you're gonna like it. It's fucking Witcher.
No, I the story was pretty obvious. I knew it was about Vesemir because I've played the game, so the story
Yeah.
wasn't that exciting for me. Because I'm like, yeah,
what
I
is it
know what's
called?
gonna happen.
The Witcher what?
Dragon's Blood.
No,
You know
I
what? Yeah, I'll
forgot.
just put
Witcher,
up. I'll,
Nightmare of the Wolf. Nightmare of the
oh,
Wolf.
I was gonna
And
put the
like my
Dragon's
brother
Blood
really
photo.
loved the film. My brother absolutely loved it. But my brother hasn't like played the games or anything. He's just seen the Witcher, like the show, like
See.
the live
Yeah,
action.
that's
I think,
actually a
the TV
good
show, which
perspective
was
from
pretty
it.
good.
Yeah.
I've heard,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen that one.
To get like past lore of certain characters before you actually get into the main lore of it in the game. That's nice.
Hmm. Yeah,
I'm not able to
But-
find any of this animated stuff. I'm only able to find Henry Cavill's face everywhere. I see.
Nightmare of the Wolf. Just
I did. I could
Witcher-
get.
Witcher animated movie.
It's okay. I just wanted to put up a photo, but you guys don't need a photo of that. Let me give you a better photo. Like, have you guys seen this? Wow, cool,
Are you searching on Bing?
cool. Yeah, I'm searching on Bing. Here, cool
it makes
new
sense why you
ooh, Dota 2 Dragon's Blood. Woohoo! This is.
Oh yeah, season 2 is coming out.
Oh
You
yeah.
should
Oh.
have been in the bit. I forgot. You should have told
We
me.
should have mentioned that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yes, Dora 2. We have a trailer.
And we have Lena Inverse joining
Lena.
us. The circle is
Inverse?
complete. She came from an anime and now she joins an anime again. We have come full circle, boys. That's all I can say.
Yeah, so
Lena's
there.
back.
And
Something that looks like Chen is back. If you know Chen, if you know
we
Dota,
saw Pango in a few pictures.
that's
before, right?
this another. That's a Pangolier person, not Pangolier himself.
Pangolier person. Apparently.
Yeah, it's like one of his kind. Like what do you call
Yes,
them?
yes, I know.
He's a
The
pango man.
same species.
He's a Pango man, yes.
Man.
And yeah, and there's a little boy who looks like Chen. Chen's cool. I like Chen, except he gets
little,
tossed, and I don't
like,
really see
baby,
his
like-
face. He just loses
Chen
his.
when he was a kid.
No, he just loses his cap.
Oh, I see.
So he's probably from the same order, but he's not Chen. But Chen is pretty cool.
Yes, Chen is pretty cool. Bro, 6K Chen for those who know Dota.
Exactly.
Yes.
And 1K everything else, less than 1K everything else, but 6K Chen.
It's 500 MMR every other hero, 6K Meepo and Chen.
No, my
Thanks
Meepo
for
is like
India,
pretty
Chen.
shit right now, I must say.
Oh, okay. Meepos fall into 2K.
His Meepo is non-existent.
Yeah. You see these other people I play with, they just take all my core positions, and it's always
Hey,
them
you
who
don't
play
carry
core.
anymore. I've heard you used to carry when I used to
Yeah,
play
because
before,
nobody
now you just
supports
support.
okay in game properly. Look at this Audi. You know what this Audi does or what? Sits back and doesn't do anything. He's just like, no, I must be safe. I am support. I must be very, very safe. And then he doesn't like.
Audi was the
He stands in the back of the fucking fight.
He says this now, but then he expects me to do the same thing for him while he
playing
sits
a
back and
position
waits.
one
No,
support.
I always jump into the fight.
Fuck, no, you
That's
don't.
your complaint about me, Audi. You're just like, stop being so aggressive. Come back, stay back a little. That's what you always tell me. Because I keep jumping into
No,
fights
there's
and I keep
aggressive and then
creating
there's
chaos.
overextension.
Yeah, so basically, Sid, I have a new way of doing things. You know, I picked Dawnbreaker, okay? And she's a strength hero. She's pretty tanky, right?
Pretty cool,
So
yes, yes.
I buy like all these items that make her even more tanky, and then I just run at whichever enemy I see. Like I see someone, if I'm in the bot lane and then the top lane, I just run across the map just to go boop them on the head a couple
Oh
of
my
times.
God.
And I just run in and soak all the spells because I'm like, hit me bitches, and nobody can do anything to me because I'm just that tanky.
My God.
But yes,
Utopia item.
Well, that works.
that
right?
works.
Yeah. Do not mess with Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, and speaking of things that doesn't really work anymore, my laptop is overheating, so
Well,
I can feel
good time
the
to shut it
heat
down
through
then.
the keyboard and the AC, so I'm a little concerned. But yeah, that's it for this episode. We shall be back in how long? Tomorrow.
Audi, let us know when can we be back with the Droogs?
Oh yes, I'll watch the movie and tell you.
Okay, we are going to be discussing. Sid, which movie are we discussing?
Donnie Darko, probably.
Yes,
Hopefully, audio.
we're going to be
Yes.
discussing Donnie Darko, and we are going to watch the director's cut, not the normal cut, because the director's cut has a lot more. I think that's what you search for, right? You search for the director's cut, right? Yeah.
You search for the director.
Donnie
Is it on
Darko,
Netflix?
beautiful movie. I don't know if it's on Netflix, but I will send you a link to watch it for a one-time payment.
Okay.
Did you see that wink, Cody? Wink, 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 wink.
Yes,
wink.
I saw the
Okay, cool. Yeah. But yeah, that's it for this episode. We shall be back tomorrow to talk about movies, and we'll nerd out more about that stuff. And see you there.
Tomorrow.
Join us. Bye bye.
See you then. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Is it tomorrow?
I do not know where.